Hello. Today we're going to work on Sirsasana, which is headstand. Shirsha means the head. Asana is the pose, the posture, the comfortable seat. There's definitely controversy or, trying to discern, should I do a headstand? Headstands have many great benefits. Believe it or not, one of them is migraines and headaches, and to get the circulation to the head, plus it gains strength through the spine. So spinal stenosis, spinal degenerative disease, weight-bearing postures, these all can be built up with doing a headstand. Some of the controversy or cautions would be that my neck is sore. The chiropractor told me never to do that. So we play a little bit with this posture today to start to feel the benefits of how a headstand or how you can work into it when done properly. So we've got a block to our side. If you happen to have a block at home, if you can take the block onto your head, the top of your head, and as you try to balance that block onto your head, take a few breaths just to notice what happens in your spine when you do this. Hopefully it comes from elongating, feeling the head lift up underneath the block, perhaps your tailbone roots, and just feel how strong your spine may get. And it's always good to, practice this for a headstand. Perfectly fine. The other thing, we've got a book to the other side, which is a little bit heavier. And so the weight adds to the strength, but once again, maybe like you used to do as a younger child or in proper etiquette school, how we walked around with blocks on our head for our posture. So too does this bring awareness into the spine and the actions of the spine from the benefits of putting pressure on the head. And this posture is known as the king in the yoga tradition. So it's the king, the ruler. Good. So having increased abdominal strength, that's why so many standing postures, having increased leg strength. So standing postures, abdominal strength is a prelude into this posture, and it's not one of the first postures that are done in the inversion tradition. So we're going to take the book off of our heads, and we're going to show you the proper hand position. So the fingers interlace and thumbs cross, and then you tuck, it can be whichever pinky finger inside the other baby finger. And so that pinky finger provides a little bit of space and yet support for the other hand. So the wrist, the fingers are all together. They don't splail apart. And to grab the back of the head, but we use this posture with the wrist so that, because the head wants to kind of have some agility there in the neck and balancing. So the back of the skull, kind of the flat or place where our head births through the canal, is where the fist or the wrist and the upper arms, rest into to provide the support. So kind of feel that for a moment and let the elbows draw in. So there's a little bit of a spiraling in of the arms. So just kind of feel the position of your arms. The triceps start to roll in towards the ears. You may even feel how the shoulder blades move down the back and the bottom tips of the shoulder blades draw in. All of that helps to support the thorax, the chest part of the spine as you come up into the posture. If we round the back and don't have the support of the head, then we end up moving into more of a somersault, and we will roll the spine and roll out of the pose. So having the chest lifted, it kind of puts the brakes on the back, strengthens the back, opens the chest, elbows in, drawing the armpits back into the body, and then feel a light lift as if you were going to hold up the ceiling with your forearms. And take a few deep breaths. So we're going to release the arms, and we're going to use the wall to come into this posture, which is highly recommended wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever stage you are in this headstand. So she's going to come probably just about a palm's length away from the wall with her hands. I'm going to come around here and show her from the side. Good. And then, so she's made a triangular shape. The elbows are underneath her shoulders, and her forearms are equally pressing into the mat. And then she places the back of her skull, that birthing spot, right into the fist of her hands, or I'm sorry, into the heel of her thumb and index finger. Excellent. I think my light is better this way. Good. And then so she comes into downward dog facing legs. Good. And she can, and you start to feel, okay, I'm going to put pressure on my head. I'm going to add pressure into my forearms. I'm rocking up onto my tiptoes, feeling how the hips start to move over my shoulders. Feel those shoulder blades. So you can play here a little bit, and you can walk the toes in closer towards your nose, and so that you feel the hips. Again, assessing the shoulder blades. Please take your time as you press the head like you did the block. Good. And then press into the forearms so you find how more work happens in the forearms. So she's going to, when she's ready, good, she's checking everything out, assessing how all of that feels. She's going to walk her toes in. We have a couple of ways to come up into this posture. And as you walk your toes a little bit closer, she's going to take it with both feet up, squeezing those feet together, moving from the hips. And this is actually can be a little bit more challenging because it requires a lot of abdominal strength. But she keeps walking in, and then she's going to lift one leg up, and she's going to reach with that top leg like we do in downward facing dog, three-legged dog. And then she's going to bring the feet onto the wall. And you see her knees are stacked over her hips are stacked over her shoulders, drawing the belly in. Excellent. Good. Reaching through the tailbone. Then you can play with taking one leg off of the wall. Beautiful. And then the other. Excellent. And then maybe you'll try with both legs. Good. So this takes a lot of strength, a lot of efforting. Let the breath deepen. And then in order to come down, see if you can bend the knees in towards your chest. Put the feet back on the wall. Beautiful. Letting the knees bend down towards the chest, belly hollows, extend. And come into long arm pose of the child. And you want to stay in long arm pose of the child because we want to balance out that blood flow, the heart, keep the head down because that could be a long time upside down on our head when we're not used to it. Excellent. Couple more breaths. In the teachings, they say to stay in long arm pose of the child as long as you were up in the posture. But as long as you are able to stay down till the body finds equilibrium, then you're good. Good. I think Carrie wanted to demo today a way of going up with the wide legs and in the forward bend. Same position with the head into the heels of the wrist. And it's a good way to explore the posture, because if our hips are tight, taking our legs wide, we might find it easier to do. So we still come up in downward dog legs, and she can start to walk her feet wide. And still the same practice of walking the toes in, and again from the hips and from the abdominals, in order to take the legs up and then bringing them together. The end result is the same. While you're up there, you focus on the breath. There's a lot of emotions. There's a lot of scary, fear, wibble, wobbles, and this is where we really need to center. You can play with the forearms pressing to where the head gets a little bit lighter, and it's up to our discernment and to be able to stay focused and not in our, oh, it's scary up here, just trying to go into the breath. Excellent. And then we can come down the same way, taking the legs out wide, bending from the hinge of the hips, and bring the legs forward. Excellent. And exhale, come up and out. And again, long arm pose of the child. Good. So these are the beginnings of practicing headstand, trying to understand its safety, using discernment, but knowing its many benefits. Good. And as you feel ready, inhale to come up. Good. Namaste.